Hmm? Ah!
Welcome to a Face Project podcast.
Hello?
It's just pure life. It's pure
And my
innocence.
mom
It's
is a
pure
writer. My
gratitude.
So I ended up in America.
I am an adopted
because
Korean and have been all my life.
It's a perfect blend of science and creativity.
I was screaming, I will live over here till I die.
Hey everyone, welcome to a Face Project podcast. Stories told by people from around the world that broaden our understanding of the human experience. My name is Natalie Jennings. I am your host, and this is episode number 24. I am coming to you from Hawaii. I will be here for a few more weeks, getting out of the Minneapolis winter. And once again, if you haven't heard me go on about this before, my audio setup is not the same as the one I have back home. So if things are a little less clear, or there's some popping because I don't have my pop shield, or you hear all of the birds and palm fronds rustling, which I can hear from where I'm sitting, so I don't know if it's coming through, but I have decided that that is what's going on, and I am okay with it, as long as when I play this back, the audio isn't too sketchy. So this is a really nice, lighthearted episode that I really enjoyed talking with Mariel about. She is a Hardanger and fiddle player, and if you're not familiar with the Hardanger, one thing I would like to stress is to head over to afaceproject.com and look at the photos from this episode. You can go under stories, there's a podcast menu, so afaceproject.com, stories, podcast, and then look for episode number 24. You'll see some portraits of Mariel, but you'll also see a lot of really cool shots of her Hardanger fiddle, and it is a beautiful instrument. So check that out. In addition to the story today, I was curious about what people are listening to and why they like it, since this is sort of a music-themed episode. And this is what people had to say.
So the question is, what am I listening to? Music-wise, I've stumbled upon Macy Rika. She's out of New Zealand, folk singer, kind of like easy listening, nice. It's good. It's good music, helps my brain. And then personal development stuff. I'm listening to podcasts and miscellaneous books online through Audible. And that's all I have at the moment.
I'm listening to Hall & Oates' You Make My Dreams Come True, and I like it because it was silly and surprising and on a random playlist, and it was exactly what I needed to hear.
Well, right now I'm listening to Thrift Shop by Macklemore. I attended my first ever personal development seminar last week, and that was one of the songs that they played to kind of get the audience back into the main auditorium, to get everybody dancing and bouncing around a little bit and get the blood flowing, a little bit of excitement, anticipation, and it worked. And it kind of sharpened the mind and just got the enthusiasm level up. And I've been listening to it because it helps. I forgot about the power of music to elevate my mood. So I rediscovered Thrift Shop.
I'm sporadic. I'm listening to all kinds of stuff. I'll bounce back and forth between audiobooks, seminar recordings, and music. But typically I listen to any type of audiobook that's going to help me be a better version of me. And I do that because I want to make the world better because I was here. And I thrive off of everything I learned to do that, because actually the more I've learned about being able to improve myself has helped me make others feel a little bit better or make their lives a little bit better.
The music you're going to hear today in this episode is played either live or off of Mariel's record Hickory. If you're interested in listening to more of her music, head on over to marielvandersteel.com and you can pick up a copy digitally, or I think she's even selling hard copies. Without further ado, here is Mariel.
I would say one of the things that inspires me the most about playing music is the opportunity to be in and meet other communities of people, because this art form is such a social thing, and I really like how it can bring certain people together and certain groups of people together. So that's a main inspiration for me. Also, just like the feeling that you get playing music and having that touch someone else is really amazing. Or if you're playing with someone, having that conversation without words that's an amazing feeling as well. My name is Mariel Vandersteel, and I currently live in Boston, Massachusetts. And this is a Hardanger fiddle. It's Norway's traditional folk instrument, and it's a highly decorated violin. Essentially, it has the same similar body to a violin, and there's a lot of hand-drawn motifs all over the instrument, and it also has 5 resonant strings that run underneath the fingerboard, and when you tune those to the top strings, they resonate and release a richer sound than a normal fiddle would. And you never play on those ender strings; they're just there to catch the sound. And the bridge is a lot flatter than a normal fiddle as well, so it's really easy to hit 2 strings. And you can even hit 3 strings at once, but it's more difficult to hit just 1 string. And I think that's because it's this tradition is primarily a solo tradition, and this flat bridge, kind of allows you to get the most sound out of the instrument. And the F holes, the space between the F holes and the body, is greater than a normal fiddle too, so that helps kind of amplify the sound as well. The Hardanger fiddle is also tuned a little bit differently than a normal fiddle. It's tuned up in B flat or B, so it's normally tuned a little bit higher than the normal fiddle. And there's something like 27 different ways to tune it. So depending on the tune that you're playing, you have a corresponding tuning, and sometimes those are colors. Like, I know of 2 color tunings. One's a blue tuning and one's a green tuning. One's the troll tuning, which is A, E, A, C sharp, and when you play in that tuning, the trolls are supposed to hear it and come out of the forest. And one of my favorite parts of this instrument is the dragon head that's up top. It's in the place of the scroll. It's actually just a carved dragon's head with a headpiece and painted on eyes and mother of pearl teeth. The dental work is quite incredible, and its tongue is kind of sticking out. And that's traditionally what's usually placed on top of these instruments. And I've also seen an image of a woman's head on the scroll as well. I feel like I should know why they're decorated as they are. I don't know the answer, but I like to think that in the long, dark winters, someone got bored and decided to draw on their fiddle. I play the Hardanger fiddle, I usually stick with traditional Norwegian melodies from this instrument, but I kind of take liberties and put my own stamp on them. I usually play with a harp player, Maeve Gilchrist, and a guitar player, Jordan Tice, and we kind of create soundscapes, I guess, to go along with the tunes. But then sometimes I bring them into other situations and play them with singer-songwriters or play Irish or old-time tunes on them as well. So it can cater to a bunch of different kinds of music. The tune that I opened with is a springar, which in Norway it's one of the main tune groups. So like in Irish music you have your reels and your jigs, but in Norwegian music you have your gungars and hallings and springars. So that was a springar, and it came from the Valdres region. And so they have an asymmetrical sense of three, meaning that the three isn't just your normal waltz, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's asymmetrical, so the space between the beats varies depending on what region you're in. And so if you're in Valdres, it would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a work in progress for me. I spent 4 months there studying this instrument, but it's definitely a fine art to get that rhythm from different regions down. Yeah, I have a website. It's just my name, Mariel, Vandersteel.com, and I have a solo CD out that features a bunch of the Hardanger fiddle music on it. It's called Hickory. And if anyone's interested in learning more about the Hardanger fiddle, there's an organization, the American Hardanger Fiddle Association of America, and they have a website that you can check out, and has teachers in different areas and books about the fiddle and just a bunch of resources. It's really great.
This episode was recorded and produced by me. Photography by Natalie Jennings. Layout and design by Aaron Woods. Music by Mariel Vandersteel. Head to marielvandersteel.bandcamp to check out her record, Hickory. Thank you all for listening. One final note, if you are a regular listener and you are looking for a way that you can become involved in our podcast, we have a Facebook group called A Face Project Community. It's a place where we post questions and updates, and other people share their stories and photos and ideas. So if you'd like to be more involved in our community, head on over to Facebook and search for A Face Project Community. A great big thank you again to all of you who are continuing to subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to our magazine, and support us with contributions. We would not be able to do all of this work without you. So if you are a regular listener and you are interested in showing your support, you can do a couple of things. If you're on a budget, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. Reviews help us to climb up in the iTunes rankings and reach other listeners who might be searching for the content that we're sharing. If you have the means and would like to contribute financially, we have a contributing member page on our website. So head on over to afaceproject.com and click on Contribute in the menu right at the top. It's open for any amount, one time or sustaining. So head on over to Contribute, give what you can, and know that we are incredibly grateful for your support. I'm going to end this episode today with a song off of Mariel's record Hickory. The song is called On the Danforth. And again, if you're interested in picking up the record, head to marielvandersteel.bandcamp.com.